The town of Arkwell was an unremarkable place. Nestled amongst rolling hills, it was the kind of town where time seemed to move slower. The scent of freshly baked bread wafted from the local bakery each morning. Children played in the park, their laughter echoing through the quiet streets. Yet, Arkwell held a secret, hidden in plain sight. In the heart of the town, nestled between a bookshop and a bakery, stood a small, unassuming shop. The sign above, barely clinging to its rusty hinges, read simply Elias Tiber, Clockmaker. The shop window, coated in a thin layer of dust, displayed an array of clocks, each one more peculiar than the last. There were clocks of all shapes and sizes. Some were ornate, with intricate carvings and gleaming pendulums. Others were simple, their faces blank and their hands frozen in time. Elias Tiber, the enigmatic clockmaker, was a man shrouded in mystery. His eyes, as blue as the summer sky, held a depth that seemed to see into the very soul of those who dared to meet his gaze. His hands, gnarled with age, moved with a precision that belied their years. It was said that Elias Tiber possessed a gift, a connection to the very fabric of time. Locals whispered tales of his creations, claiming that his clocks held the power to control time itself. But these were dismissed as mere folklore, the ramblings of a town steeped in superstition, or so they thought. Clara, a young woman with a thirst for adventure, stumbled upon Arkwell on a stormy evening. Rain lashed down, drenching her to the bone. Thunder rumbled overhead, each crash echoing like the beat of a giant drum. Seeking shelter, she ducked into the first open doorway she could find. She found herself in the dimly lit interior of Elias Tiber's clock shop. The air was thick with the scent of old wood and something else, something she couldn't quite place, a faint metallic tang, like ozone after a lightning strike. Hundreds of clocks ticked away, their rhythmic symphony a strange comfort in the midst of the storm. Clara's eyes were drawn to a clock tucked away on a dusty shelf. It was unlike any she had ever seen before. A magnificent contraption of polished brass and silver, its face etched with strange symbols that seemed to shift and change before her very eyes. Intrigued, she reached out, her fingers tracing the intricate carvings on its surface. As she did, a jolt of energy surged through her. The symbols on the clock face glowed with an eerie light. Suddenly, the air around her crackled with energy, and the world outside the shop window dissolved into a dizzying swirl of colors. The world spun, a kaleidoscope of light and shadow. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the whirling stopped. Clara found herself standing in a bustling marketplace, the air thick with the scent of exotic spices and unfamiliar tongues. Gone were the cobbled streets of Arkwell and the relentless downpour. In their place stood stalls laden with strange and wonderful goods, shimmering silks, glistening jewels, and fruits she had never seen before. People thronged the narrow streets, their voices a cacophony of unfamiliar languages. Confused and disoriented, Clara realized that the clock had transported her not just to another place, but to another time. She wandered through the bustling marketplace, her senses overwhelmed by the sights, sounds, and smells. She saw merchants haggling over prices, children chasing pigeons through the crowded square, and musicians playing haunting melodies on instruments she didn't recognize. Time seemed to flow differently here, slower, more deliberate. As she explored this strange new world, Clara felt an unsettling sense of displacement, a feeling that she was an outsider, an observer peering through a window into a past that was not her own. Back in the musty confines of his shop, Elias Tiber watched Clara's journey through the swirling mists of time. He knew the risks, the delicate balance of the timelines, but he also recognized the spark in Clara's eyes, the same insatiable curiosity that had driven him all those years ago. He had not chosen her randomly. He had seen her destiny intertwined with the intricate workings of his clocks. Each tick of a clock, each swing of a pendulum, was not just a measure of time, but a thread in the grand tapestry of existence. His clocks were not mere timepieces, but gateways to a labyrinth of timelines, each one a delicate thread in the intricate web of history. Elias had dedicated his life to safeguarding these gateways, ensuring that the delicate balance of time remained undisturbed. He understood the allure of the unknown, the temptation to rewrite the past or glimpse the future. But he also knew the consequences of such hubris. To tamper with time was to risk unraveling the very fabric of existence. He had foreseen the arrival of a guardian, a protector of the timelines. And in Clara, with her inquisitive spirit and unwavering determination, he saw the fulfillment of that ancient prophecy.